Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga. Welcome. This is Soft Flow. This is a 60-minute gentle yoga practice. So glad you could be here with me. So in our class today, we're just going to do some shoulder work. That's it. Just some focus on the shoulders, just some good mobility, flexibility, just kind of stretch things out just to make sure our shoulders are working pretty well today. Alrighty, so for our props, nothing out of the ordinary, just some basics that we like to use in our soft flow class. You do want something soft that you can sit on, but also because of this one particular pose that we'll be doing for our shoulders, you do want some good padding. So a blanket that you can fold or a good fluffy towel that you can also fold, something like that. And a couple of yoga blocks could come in handy as well. I've got kind of those smaller versions. Sometimes they come more in a thicker fashion. That's why I use two. So if you got one or two of those, or even a hardbound book or two. And then maybe a big cushion, a pillow. This is my yoga bolster. That can come in handy. I don't think I'll be using this specifically in our class today, but sometimes I like to just throw it in. Alrighty, but main thing, just a nice soft blanket or towel and maybe a block or two. Let's start our practice in seated as we usually do. Just find a comfortable seat, either sitting on a pillow or folded blanket is nice. You can cross your legs if that feels okay for you. You can always extend your legs. And just make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, well extended spine. And even start with a few deep breaths. You might breathe in deeply through your nose, and then exhale through the nose or out through your mouth if you'd like. Just a couple of times like that, just to get reacquainted with your breath and help you to settle into the space. When you pay close attention to your breathing, it really kind of narrows the scope, meaning allows you to let go of the things that are going on outside of you so that you can focus on what's going on inside of you. It brings you to the present moment. So a couple more breaths just to bring yourself to that greater awareness. Good. Feel free to add some movement here. Since we are working with our shoulders today, feel free to maybe softly or slowly circle the shoulders, maybe a few times backward, a few times forward. You might even do this. You might just lift your shoulders up towards your earlobes and then let them relax. You can do that a couple times. I think that's a nice reminder that we hold a lot of tension in our shoulders and we tend to kind of hunch our shoulders. We often bring them up like this, which really brings some tense muscles around the neck and shoulders. So it's just a nice reminder just to relax the shoulders. Feel free to keep your eyes open. You can just gaze forward or downward. You can also just close your eyes. We'll just hold here for the next few moments as we move into our breathing meditation. Just slow, steady breaths in and out. You want to be able to hear your breath, so if you need to, just turn up the volume of your breath. Slow and steady. And breathe so that you can feel your breath. So as you breathe in, you may feel the breath rising upward. Fill up your lungs. So a nice expansive breath in. Then as you exhale, just draw your navel inward towards your spine. Just an awareness of your center body. This is called the abdominal lock, where you just feel that light contraction of the abdominal muscles. So again, breathing in, just feel yourself just sitting up a little taller. Breath rising to fill up your lungs. And exhaling, drawing belly in. Another thing to remind ourselves, when we breathe in, sometimes we do hunch our shoulders, okay? So see if you can breathe in, but keep the shoulders relaxed. Very nice. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths like this. And then we'll add our very simple movement, our moving meditation. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms out across the room. Really extend them and then reach all the way up to complete the inhale, reaching high. Then exhale, extend your arms out. all the way out across the room, and then let them float back down by your side as you complete the exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching out, energy through the hands and fingertips, reaching up into the air. And exhale, once again extending outward, arms back down. Now just go ahead and continue at your own pace. Moving at your own pace, breathing at your own pace. Just as long as you just feel this good energy moving through the entire arm, all the way out to the hands and fingers. This, of course, involves our shoulders, so just be aware of how the shoulders are in motion. What's pretty remarkable, I think, about the shoulders is that it allows our arms, to move in multi-directions. We can move it back, we can move it forward, out to the side, overhead. So that great mobility we have in the shoulders. And so we want to make sure we can maintain that mobility in all those ranges. Very nice. Let's continue. Excellent. Go ahead and finish this last breath and then take 2 more breaths on your own. And when you're complete, just let your arms rest down by your side. Let your shoulders relax. And once again, just feel the full breath. Nice full inhale and complete exhale. While still seated, let's bring our hands behind us. Maybe just propped up onto your fingertips, just like this. And with the arms back behind us, we're going to really open up the heart. This is a seated back bend, but also be aware kind of this front portion of the shoulder that kind of ties into the chest. We want to open up this space as well, because this can certainly become quite tight, especially since our arms are usually in front of us, like this, maybe like typing or driving, and so that section gets tight. And so this is a nice way just to feel that nice extension. Okay, so both hands behind, shoulders rolled back. As you're able, squeeze shoulder blades together. And even tip your chin up just a little bit. And there's our seated mild back bend. Inhale and just press into the ground with the hands. Feel the breath rising, filling up your lungs. A nice stretch quality across the chest from shoulder to shoulder. Exhale, draw belly in. That connection to center body. Again, as you breathe in, feeling that expansion through the chest, filling up the lungs. And notice if you feel anything, kind of the outside edges of the chest right out to the shoulders. The energy of the hands or fingertips pressing into the ground, strong arms, shoulders rolled back, squeezing shoulder blades together. 2 more breaths like this. Good. Go ahead and lower your chin to look forward. Walk your hands towards yourself so you can sit up nice and tall. And again, just bring the arms in front. Let the arms and hands just rest in your lap. Let's return to that nice relaxed sensation. Maybe a little circle of the shoulders just to loosen them up after having their arms behind you. And we'll get ready for our forward fold. So we like to do this in cobbler's pose. So maybe uncross the legs here and just have the soles of the feet touch. Knees will be bent and out to the side. This is where your books or blocks can come in handy. Even just some small pillows, just so your legs can rest there. Holding on to your ankles or shins. Once again, sit up as tall as can be. Inhale with that. Exhale, draw belly in for support as you hinge forward just a tiny bit, leading with the heart and chin. Do that again. Nice inhale, lengthening the spine at this new angle. Exhale, draw belly in, hinge forward a tiny bit more. Okay. At first, maybe these first 2 or 3 breaths, let's see if we can keep the spine and torso long and straight as possible, even if that means not going down too low. And that's really not the intention. You don't have to go down too low. With just this slight hinge, we are getting into the inner legs. We're going to add something here. All you're going to do is just kind of soften just a little bit, lower your chin, let your back round, and then maybe fold a little bit more, okay? And we're going to add one more piece to this just to add a few more sensations. As it feels okay, just extend your arms out like this. I'm just propped up on my fingertips. This is going to create more of that roundedness in the back, bringing the arms forward. And maybe a feeling of lengthening, but in a very gradual way, in the back side of the shoulders. We're going to get more into that section later, but this is a little bit of an introduction. And then some deep breaths, as best as you can. Perhaps breathe into your back body. Just as when we were leaning back, doing the mild back bend, breathing into heart space in the front body. Now perhaps imagining you're breathing into the back section. So multiple sensations perhaps. We have a hip opener because of our cobbler's pose. The curvature of the spine allows for a stretch sensation throughout the back. And with the arms out in front of us, kind of a reaching feeling. You might feel this, kind of the outer edges of the shoulders. Let's take 2 more breaths here. After that second breath, just step the hands back, helping you to lift yourself back up until you're nice and tall. Maybe one more shoulder roll back. Keep the shoulders back so it reopens the chest. You give a nice posture in the seat. And a breath. Very good. All right, let's move our props out of the way. Let's come to hands and knees. Getting ready for our cat and cow flow. Use something soft to kneel on. And for your hands here, maybe unfolding your blanket or towel, and just come to this tabletop position. Join me here. We're going to inhale and just lift head and heart to look forward. Tip the pelvis back. It creates a little back bend. That's cow pose. Then exhale, tuck tailbone under. Once again, feel the back round, chin towards chest, but feel belly button pull up towards spine. That's cat. And just continue to flow like this with your own breathing. Take your time with this, or really just move at your own pace. Own breath pace, the movement, all up to you. Just as long as you feel as if the breath is guiding the movement. What's nice here is that, yes, you're creating this back bend feel in cow pose when you look forward. We get a little core engagement and back stretch in cat pose. And even though the arms aren't in motion, this does affect the shoulders, okay, in a very gentle way. Since the torso is in motion, it does affect the shoulder. Let's do one more sensation here. Just pause for a moment. As it feels okay, come down to your elbows or forearms, like this, and then continue that cat-cow flow. Okay, so cow pose, arching the back, exhale, round it out. This may create a different or slightly different sensation, maybe through the shoulders, but more so through this kind of the sides of the body. It's actually your back muscles, called the latissimus muscles, just underneath your armpits. When you exhale into cat pose, you might feel something there. Let's take 3 more breaths. We're going to stay here for a moment. Pause when you're done with those 3 breaths. We're going to child's pose. Since we're already down, let's just continue into child's pose. You might even take the knees a little wider if you need to and just sit back. Your hips moving down towards heels, just towards the heels. They don't have to touch the heels. And just keep the arms extended out in front. Now you can really extend where the elbows lift up off the mat, or just keep the elbows relaxing on the mat. And as you'd like, rest your forehead down on your blanket or towel, or even bring a block in. Just 2 breaths here. Make them slow, strong, and deep. After the second breath, bring your arms behind you like this, just reaching for your feet, but let the shoulders completely relax. They'll just kind of drop. Let gravity take over, and take another 2 breaths. We'll be certainly coming back to this pose. This is great for some awareness of the shoulders. It's also a nice break in movement. Okay, use your hands to help prop yourself up. Maybe back up to hands and knees. If you are using that blanket or towel, let's crawl off that prop and slide it to the side. Over here, out of the way. Come back to hands and knees, ready for downward facing dog. So here you want to step your hands forward. So your hands are out from underneath your shoulders. Spread out your fingers pretty wide so you feel that stretch feeling between each finger. Press palms firmly down into the mat to stretch open the palms, but also creating a strong foundation. Also feel that energy shoot up through the arms, right up into the shoulders. Tuck your toes here. And then another cat-cow flow. Inhale to cow, right there. Exhale, round it out into cat. Hold cat for a second as you now lift knees off the mat, lift hips up into the air. And there's our upside down V shape. Right here, maybe adjusting the feet, even adjusting the hands. I sometimes like to take my hands a little wider on my mat, providing a little bit more space for my shoulders. And as you're able, very gently kind of sink the chest down towards the ground. Just very softly and gently, and then come out of that stretch. Look straight down. You're going to walk your feet towards the center of your mat until your feet are directly underneath you, flat on the ground. You might need to slide your fingers towards your toes. You'll be in forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees, extending your spine. Hold here in this flat tabletop position. As you can, put a little bit more bend in the knees like you're going to sit down. Okay, make sure you can still have some balance here. And let your arms just kind of hang out here. Some of my arms are just hanging out here. And then make some circles, like you're stirring a big pot of soup. Okay, make sure the legs feel engaged here, strong in the glutes and hamstrings. Core is slightly engaged, so you can hold this posture. So circle one direction, and then the other, just keeping them loose. Now let's place your hands on your thighs. Look forward. Push hands into thighs to help you stand until you're nice and tall. Let's get even taller by extending the arms up into the air with an inhale. Exhale, bring the arms back down by your side. Do that one more time, just the arms. Inhale, reach out, all the way up, very good. Exhale, reaching out, and then back down by your side. Give them a nice little shake. Just shake them out, circles. All right, let's do one thing here. Just gonna take your left arm out across the room there and bring it across the body. It's okay if the elbow bends a little bit. You can use the other arm, just kind of make a hook and just kind of draw it in, okay, towards yourself, okay? And so what's happening here, we're getting a nice little pull kind of in the back side and the side part of the shoulder. Just very gentle, I'm not pulling very hard here. Making sure your torso is still forward, okay, facing directly forward as you bring this arm across. Okay, release and reach out, okay, to the side and then back down, okay, like you're presenting like that, and bring it down. Okay, let's do the other side, out to the side, bring it across the body, other arm hook, squeeze, draw it in, okay. You can even add a little motion here, this little massage, just to kind of get into the muscles there in the joint. Nothing too dramatic there. All right, let's go ahead and release, present across the room, and then down by your side, shake that out. All right, let's do our modified Warrior One, starting in mountain pose. Nice and tall here. Let's start with the softness in the knees. Keep the knees bent, and then shift weight into right foot. Feel tall. Inhale, get tall, lengthening through the spine. Inhale to fill up the lungs. Exhale, core engaged. A slight tip forward and start tiptoeing the left foot back. Stay propped up on toes, heel lifted for a second, then pivot or turn that left heel planted into the floor, shifting back to center. Place hands on hips, push pelvis downward as you extend spine, getting tall through the torso, face forward. We'll inhale here, reach both arms straight up into the air. Exhale, bend the elbows until you come to about 90 degrees with the arms right there. We're going to do a couple things with this, okay? First, I'm going to face you for a moment, okay? So all you're going to do is just drop the arms down, okay? Just like this, okay? Just kind of a little swing of the arms down. but keeping the elbows and shoulders in the same plane. Let's go down and then back up 2 or 3 times. All right, we'll hold here. Let's shoot the arms straight up into the air. Inhale. Exhale, bring the arms down, hands to hips. Let's lean forward, put some good pressure and weight in that front foot so it's easy for you to lift that back foot, step forward. Stand up tall, reach both arms up into the air. Okay, listen carefully. You're going to exhale, bring the arms down and behind you like this. Reach. Okay, just reach for the back corners of your mat. Just reach. If you're able, interlace fingers. You don't have to do this though. If you can, interlace the fingers. Elbows can stay bent or reach through your knuckles down towards the floor. As you're able, roll shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together. Okay, this is one option. Again, we're getting to the front deltoid or the front portion of the shoulder girdle there, or you can just continue reaching back, both correct. 2 more breaths. And then just release and relax. Shake all that out. We'll do the other side. Okay, mountain pose, soft knees, shifting weight into left foot, root down. Inhale, get very tall, lengthening through the spine, fill up your lungs. Exhale, core engage, hinge forward slightly or lean forward so you can start tapping the right foot back. Flex toes, heel lifted for a second. Pivot or turn heel to the floor, plant yourself in center. Place hands on hips, push pelvis down. Feel torso rise, making space in the belt line, facing forward. Let's inhale, reach up. Inhale, that's it. Exhale, bend elbows 90 degrees. We'll do that same thing here. We'll just do that little swivel, okay, through the arms 2 or 3 times. Just getting into that mobility of the shoulders here. Okay, we're back at our goalpost shape. Let's inhale, shoot the arms straight up. Exhale, bring the hands to hips. Lean forward, put weight and pressure in this front foot. Step the right foot forward, meeting the other. Let's inhale. Let's do the same thing. Reach all the way up. Exhale as you bring the arms down. Start reaching behind you. Same exact thing. Just reach, reaching for the back corners of your mat. Again, only if you're able, interlace fingers, root towards the ground, shoulders roll back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Okay, a couple breaths here. With the arms reaching back, just feel the breath rising to fill up the lungs. That same stretch quality across the chest from shoulder to shoulder like you did when we were seated doing our mild back bend. Let's release, relax, shake it all out. All right, let's get ready to flow here. Take a breath first, and let's move. Inhale, sweep the arms into the air. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, feel like you're sitting back into an imaginary chair. Slowly fold, making your way down. As you're able, reaching toward your toes, maybe touching the toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees, extending your spine, long, flat back. Exhale, fold again, keep folding, let the back round, bend the knees more if you need to, getting low enough so you can place your hands on your mat and just start walking both feet back to the back end of your mat, aligning yourself in plank pose. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, bend your knees slightly, send your hips up into the air. Downward facing dog. Take the moment to adjust the feet, maybe your hands. One more sink of the chest towards the floor. It kind of locks the shoulders, but then release so the shoulders feel kind of loose again. Then we'll go for our lunge. Inhale, let's pick up the right foot, extend the right leg back behind you. Exhale, bend the right knee, bring it in towards your chest or chin as you shift your whole upper body forward. Shoulders over the wrists, then set the right set of toes down, heel lifted, and then set the left knee down. We're just kneeling for a moment so we can go get the right foot with the right hand. Just pick it up, place it up near the top of the mat, relift that left knee, pivot left heel to the floor, shifting the weight back so there's more weight and pressure in that back foot. Be sure you've extended through the spine, and then hinge your way up, reaching into the sky, Exhale, hold here. Now the arms are straight, but you can also bend the elbows like we did earlier. Okay, we're just going to hold this lunge for a moment. Okay. Stay here in your warrior one. You're going to bring your arms down by your side. Okay, just reach across the room, left and right. Okay. Bring them forward like you're going to clap so the palms are together. Okay, and then bend elbows like so. Okay, so palms together. I've made it like a triangle. See, my elbows are not touching. Okay, right there. Then as you're able, squeeze elbows towards each other. It's okay if they don't touch. And then reopen to that triangle. Do that one more time. Squeeze, elbows together, and then release. Release the palms, reopen to the goalpost shape, like that. And then shoot the arms straight up. Inhale, let's keep it moving. Exhale, turn torso towards left side of the room as your arms come down to parallel. Reach out. Now this takes some shoulder endurance because our arms are still in the air, right? Okay, let's reach forward to angle the upper half of the body. Let's bend this right elbow, about 90 degrees tip, and go ahead and rest this right arm on the thigh. Let's extend left arm up into the air, straight line, reaching towards the 12 on a clock. A breath or two there. And then start slowly reaching over your head. Turn your palm so it's facing the floor, and keep reaching. I'm going to do several things here. Let's take it back up to 12 o'clock. Okay, you spin the palm around and then bring the hand down behind you to low back. So the back of your hand will touch your low back. With the shoulder, roll left shoulder back once, twice, and then 3 times. Hold it back there. So 3 little circles. A few more breaths here in stillness. Let's go ahead and inhale, re-extend this left arm up into the air. And then we'll turn towards the floor, carefully fold and bend. Hands on the mat. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you so you're in this runner's lunge. Be sure the hands are pressing firmly into the ground. You'll feel the arms and shoulders will light up as you slide the right foot back into plank pose. Hold there for a moment. Bend the knees slightly, lift hips into the air, downward facing dog. Adjust the feet and hands. One more gentle sink of the chest. Again, it kind of locks the shoulders a little bit, but then soften by sending the upper back forward. Let's do the other side. So an inhale to extend left leg up into the air. Exhale, bend left knee, bring it in underneath you towards your chin or chest, shifting your whole upper body forward so your shoulders are aligned over the wrists. Set the left foot down, set the right knee down. Allows you to go pick up this left foot and bring it up to the top of the mat, just in case you weren't able to step all the way up to the top. Relift that right knee, pivot right heel to the floor, shifting weight back so there's balance of weight. Extend the torso. Inhale, here we go. Rising up, reaching into the sky. Hold here on the exhale. Couple breaths. We'll do that same little exercise with the arms. Drop them down to parallel like you're forming airplane wings. Bring the palms together like you're clapping out in front. Bend elbows, fingertips reaching for the ceiling, okay, creating a triangle. When you exhale, squeeze elbows towards each other. It's okay if they don't touch. Reopen on the inhale. 2 more times. Exhale, squeeze. It's like you've got a bellows. You know what a bellows is? Kind of squeezing those bellows. Squeeze. And then reopen. Release the palms. Open up to that 90 degrees. We'll inhale, shoot the arms straight up. Keep it moving. Exhale, open to the right side of the room. Warrior 2. How your shoulders feel. Maybe a little tired because the arms have been up in the air all that time. Reaching forward, angled upper body. Let's bend this left arm. Rotate so you can bring this left arm down to left thigh as you reach right arm straight up into the air, 12 o'clock. Hold here for a couple breaths. Okay, then extend this right hand overhead, palm is facing the floor, reaching through your fingertips, Just a different sensation for the shoulder, but also a nice extension and lengthening down through the right side of your body. Okay, let's bring the palm back up, or fingertips back up towards the ceiling. Spin the palm so it's facing behind you as you bring this right hand down to your low back. 3 circles with the shoulder. 1, 2, and 3. Hold it back, opening up through the heart space. Keep it moving. Let's inhale, re-extend, right hand up into the air. Exhale, turn. Let's bring the hands down to the floor. Rise up onto the tiptoes behind you. Press firmly into the ground with the hands. Strong arms and shoulders. Slide left foot back, plank, hold. This really engages the strength of the shoulders. Let's hold a little bit longer. Slowly set the knees down. We're going back to child's pose. If you need that blanket for padding, bring it in. Otherwise, stay here. Maybe take the knees wide. Sit back. Hips towards heels. Let's keep the arms extended. Let's do what we did before. You can extend the arms, reaching with a little bit more vitality, or rest the elbows on the floor. Bring in something to rest your forehead on if you want. I usually do. Let's do 3 breaths here. And then we'll relax the arms and shoulders by reaching behind you. Just let the arms and shoulders completely relax. They aren't doing anything. They're just behind you. And just kind of melt here. 3 breaths. Alrighty. Use your hands to prop yourself back up. Just come up to hands and knees. Do 3 breaths, cat and cow. Inhale, look up or forward, arching the back. Exhale, round. 2 more on your own. All right, let's take a little break here. Maybe tuck toes. Sit back to our half hero. Just here is fine. Unless you can sit all the way in hero, but this is fine just to get the pressure off the wrists. Maybe a little circle for the wrists, wiggle your fingers. If you want to get a counter stretch in those wrists, I like to gently press the top of the hand, just 3 pulses very gently onto the mat. Nothing too strenuous at all. Other side. All right, go ahead and take a seat. Go ahead and sit on a blanket or block here. Let's face each other. Just cross your legs, something that's comfortable for you. Okay, 2 things we're going to do. One, let's just go ahead and repeat the arm stretch. Okay, let's take the left arm out to the side, bring it across the body, use the other arm to hook and stretch. Kind of draw it in towards yourself. Okay? A couple breaths there. We're going to do the other side. And then I'm just going to have you relax because I'm going to demonstrate something for you. Okay, let's go ahead and release, present, and then relax. Let's do the other side, bring it out to the side, then across the body, use the other arm to hook and draw it in. Again, these aren't major stretches, and they don't need to be. Okay, the shoulder muscle groupings, okay, with the front deltoid, kind of the side, and then the rear deltoid there, they're small muscles. And we just want to keep them strong and flexible. Okay, but it doesn't take much to work them, even to make them stronger. If you're a weightlifter, for example, you don't have to use heavy weights. All right, let's go ahead and release, present, and then relax. Okay? Okay, shake that out, get a sip of water if you'd like, and just continue watching, because I want to show you this, okay, before we get into it. All righty. This is where you might want to use something soft. I'm just going to use my blanket here. Alrighty, we're eventually going to come back to hands and knees. Just watch me for a moment, okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my left hand, which is kind of underneath my left shoulder, and step it forward, directly forward, and then slightly to the side, out to my left side. Taking my palm, I'm going to turn it in a little bit. So we're going to imagine my middle finger is the hand on a clock, I'm just going to turn it in so it's pointing towards the 1 on a clock. Then from here, I'll take my right arm, extend it out to the right side. I'm going to thread the needle. Okay, so threading the needle, going all the way down to the floor here, which creates a nice little doorway. I call it a doorway of this left arm. It's completely and nicely at 90 degrees as I'm reaching through with my right arm, and I'm literally just lying on top of my arm. Okay? This little pressure, a reaching sensation which targets the rear deltoid because of the stretch, but I'm also kind of lying on top of the side part of the shoulder. In this left arm, I'm going to be able to use it to help press, lift myself up, unthread, reach out, and then come back down. Okay? Let me show you the other thing really quickly here. Okay, the other part is we're going to be laying down on our bellies, taking the arms completely out to the side, perpendicular to your body. My right arm, my right hand, I'm going to bring it in underneath my right shoulder. Press into the floor and open up towards the right side of the room. Just like this, I'm rolling onto my side, which affects this left arm, of course. Okay, what I can do is actually bring in this block to rest my head. Now this arm, my left arm that's extended, it can stay out perpendicular to the body, or you can just angle it, just depending on how this feels for the shoulder. Okay? So those are going to be our two movements. Just wanted to demonstrate those first. Alrighty. Okay, so let's go ahead and come to our hands and knees. Let's do the thread the needle first. And if you like, have some padding here for the shoulders. So meet me here, hands and knees. Okay, so left hand. Step the left hand forward slightly. Step the left hand to the left side a little bit, just kind of outside the body. Look at the hand. Middle finger is the hand on the clock pointing at the 12. Turn it inward so it's pointing towards the 1. Some pressure in that left hand so you can extend your right arm out to the right side. Inhale. Exhale. Thread this right arm underneath the left or behind the left as you bend the elbow, left elbow, and come all the way down to the floor if you're able. So you're basically just resting with a bit of weight, a little bit of weight on that right shoulder. And some breathing here. So we're threading the needle, mindful of what's happening in that right arm. Because of the reaching sensation, okay, across the chest, we're getting a bit of a stretch and pull in the back body and the back portion of the shoulder. But we've also got pressure on it. So it's kind of acting like acupressure right on top of the shoulder. 2 more breaths. The left hand, just be sure this left arm is at 90 degrees. That's going to give you some good leverage to get out of the pose. With an exhale, press into the ground with the left hand, lift, unthread, maybe re-extend the right hand out to the side if you'd like, and bring the hand down to the floor. If you'd like, tuck toes, sit back, half hero, because there was some pressure on that left hand, so you may want to give the hand some pulses here, top of the hand, if you want to. Just for a little counter stretch, or just shake it out, wiggle the fingers. Okay, so let's thread the needle. Let's do the other side. So back out onto the hands and knees. Okay, starting with the right hand, step the right hand forward a little bit, out to the right side a bit. Middle finger is the hand on the clock. Turn it inward so it's pointing towards the 11. Inhale, extend the left arm out to left side. Exhale, thread needle underneath or behind that right arm. Bend the elbow. You might have to turn the hand a little bit if you need to, so it doesn't, hurt the wrist. And the arm is at 90 degrees. And as you're able, just lie right on top of that left arm and shoulder. Take some breaths here. The more that you feel this reaching sensation across the chest, okay, it gets into the back body. Okay, the left side. Left shoulder, rear deltoid. And with this pressure, light pressure, since hopefully you're on something soft, a little acupressure for the side portion of the shoulder. It's like giving yourself a massage. 2 more breaths. When you're ready to move, all you're going to do with an exhale, press right hand into the floor to lift yourself up so you can unthread the needle, extend the left arm out to the side like an airplane wing. Good. Hand down to the floor. Tuck toes, sit back half hero. Just shake out that right wrist. 3 pulses if you like. Okay, just relax here for a moment. Okay, so basically the arm was lying on it where it was across the body like so. So we get a pull, okay, through the shoulder coming from the back and the pressure of lying on top. Okay, now this next pose we're going to get through this front deltoid because it's going to feel like you're bringing your arm back behind you. That's what it will feel like, stretching here. Now the arm can be perpendicular to the floor or to your body, or bring it down at an angle, just depending on how it feels for you, okay? And what's nice about this, you can kind of manipulate how much pressure you'll create. All right, so from here, we're still on hands and knees, but I walk my knees back. I'm going to see if I can do a little push-up and come all the way down to the belly here. Then extend the arms out. Have a block or a pillow or some kind of cushion near your head, just in case you feel like your head is too far away from the floor. Remember, the arms can come out directly, 90 degrees from the torso, or angle it, okay? Okay, let's start by bringing the right hand in underneath the shoulder. With an exhale, push into the floor with the right hand, and you'll turn onto the side, okay? This is where you might want to bring in a block to rest your head if you need to. So this is how you can kind of manipulate how much pressure you want. It's that right hand. The more you push into the floor with the right hand and turn completely sideways, is going to be more of an effect on that left shoulder. If it feels like it's too much, okay, soften that press, okay, and just kind of feel like you're going to return towards the floor. Hopefully that makes sense. So remember, we're doing a soft flow, so you don't have to go too forcefully at all. Remember, work at 60 to 70%, even less than that if that feels right, especially for the small muscle groupings of the shoulders and the joints of the shoulders, which can also be quite sensitive. Let's just take 2 more breaths here. We're going to carefully just release and come back down onto the belly. Okay. Extend the right arm out to the side. Let's bring the left hand in underneath shoulder like so. When you're ready, and exhale, press into the floor with the left hand to help you turn sideways, rolling onto your right side, affecting the right arm and shoulder. Let the head relax, maybe resting on the block or the floor. Choosing how much tension you want to create in that shoulder. Remember, this is affecting kind of the front shoulder area and chest, as if you were standing, for example, and reaching your arms directly behind you. Okay, you can always soften it, okay, or add just a bit more intensity, but maybe not trying to go past that 70%. Let's take 2 more breaths. Okay, let's slowly return to our bellies. Move this block if you're using it. Place both hands underneath the shoulders. Press yourself back up to hands and knees. Okay, maybe get the knees underneath the hips, going back to child's pose. So take the knees wide, sit back, extend arms. Maybe this time elbows stay lifted off the floor. Just reach, let the chest sink, head comes down between the arms. Feel that bit of tension, 2 breaths. You can also bring in a block, which I like to do, just to rest my forehead. Rest the arms, just set the elbows on the floor. Arms are still extended out front. Just rest the elbows on the floor, just to soften the pose a little bit. 2 more breaths. And then relax completely by bringing the arms behind you. Let the arms and shoulders completely relax. 3 breaths. Very nicely done. When you're ready, take your time with this. Maybe hands underneath you to help prop yourself up. Just coming up to hero pose. We are going to take a seat. So just slide off to the side, swing the legs around to the front. Take a moment to adjust where you want your blocks. We are going to lie on our backs. So moving your props to the side, get your blocks handy because we are doing bridge pose. Okay, once they're all set up at arm's reach, sitting in the center of your mat, go ahead and lie down. As you lie down, maybe bring knees to chest. If you'd like, a little circle of the feet. Flex the feet, point your toes, just to get into the ankle joints. Kind of, in the same vein as our shoulders. Ankles, that's a small kind of muscle and joint grouping. Okay, but they take a lot of, they take a lot on. Okay, and they hold ourselves up, right? So a little mobility is nice. Okay, go ahead and set the feet down on the mat, keeping knees bent. Make sure you can grab your blocks. With an exhale, lifting hips high enough, slide your blocks underneath you. Sit. Now you can just kind of relax here completely. Arms just kind of out by your side. Nothing fancy at all. Just some nice breath work. If you want to add a little something here, this is optional today. Remember we were standing, we brought the arms behind us, reaching back, and as an option I had you interlace your fingers. Maybe you can do the same thing here. Your blocks might be in the way a little bit, but see if you can maybe either just touch fingertips or partially fold the fingers and see if you can get the arms and shoulders a bit more underneath you, squeezing shoulder blades together. Take some deeper breaths, filling up the lungs. Just helping to lightly stretch through the pectoral muscles right out to those front deltoid muscles, shoulders and chest. Take 3 more breaths. If your fingers are folded, just release. Let the arms kind of relax out to the side for a moment. Now we're going to take our legs up into the air, just for an inverted pose, just a light variation of shoulder stand. Since we're focusing on shoulders, we're going to do a version of shoulder stand. So just extending the legs up into the air. That's all we're going to do. Now, of course, shoulder stand is a little bit more dynamic than this, but we're going to choose this as our variation. Just legs up in the air, or legs up against the wall is another name for this pose. Okay, your arms can just stay relaxed down by your side. Just a nice leg extension. But feel free to add movement here if you want to bend the knees, and then re-extend. Maybe more circles with the feet, getting into the ankle joints. Flex and point, wiggle your toes if you can. I like to add a little bicycle pedaling here. Now, if propped up on the blocks doesn't seem quite right, or it's kind of aggravating your back at all, go ahead and come down 1 notch if you're using 2 blocks, or remove the blocks completely and just lie flat on your back. Or if you want something soft, just use your pillow or folded blanket or towel underneath you. Let's just take 5 more breaths here. I'm just going to add some extra movements. You can be creative here. I'm just taking my legs out to the side, just getting a little inner leg stretch, crossing the legs to kind of get into the outer legs. This is all just really giving us an opportunity for our shoulders to relax. They've done their work, right? Let's just now work the legs for a moment. And then when you're complete, just go ahead and bend the knees, set the feet back down onto the floor, pressure into the ground to lift the hips, slide your blocks out from underneath you, whatever prop you're using, and come back down. Hug the knees into chest, catch your knees or shins in your hands, maybe a little rocking sensation. It's going kind of back to that acupressure, where you're just kind of rolling or rocking a little bit, just adding that minor pressure, the low back pressing into the ground with these movements. Let's take a twist here. Let's start by taking the knees over to the left side. Extend your right arm to the right side. As best as you can, just kind of soften the body. If you need a prop, like a pillow or a block between the knees, that's fine, just so you don't feel like you're over-rotating or pulling too harshly on that right hip or low back area, something between the knees is a nice prop to use. And with the right arm extending out to the side, it can stay just like that. Some other things you might want to try here. If you're looking straight up at the ceiling, turn your head to the right side of the room so you can see your right hand out there. It's just a little bit more of a dynamic in that rotation and twist quality in the spine. A breath or two just like that. Then turn your head to look up again. Another option, extend your right arm behind you, just reaching towards the wall behind you. A little bit more lengthening through the right side of the body. Okay, even right down to that low back area. Even a little bit of an extension for the shoulder. 3 breaths. And one last thing to get out of the pose, if your arm happens to be reaching behind you, reach up towards the ceiling, straight up, and then just straight down. Okay, down by your side. Okay, let's come back up to center with the knees. Hug the knees in with both hands, maybe a few more movements here, keeping that nice massaged feeling, keeping things loose and limber. I'm doing little figure 8s. And then when you're ready, taking knees over to the right side, use a prop between the knees if you'd like, extend the left arm to the left side of the room. You can stay here for the duration, or we can add those little extras. First, just experience this nice rotation in the spine. To add that rotation or add on to that rotation, carefully turn your head to the left. Get this nice spiraling sensation. 2 more breaths. And then turn your head so you're gazing upward. Another option, of course, is extending left arm behind you. Reach. With a little added stretch quality, maybe get that lengthening down through the left side of the body. This also kind of targets that latissimus area, latissimus muscle grouping in the back body. It's just kind of this strong muscle underneath the armpit. Okay, that lengthening down through that low back, even into the hip. Two more breaths. If your arm happens to be reaching behind you, reach straight up towards the ceiling, and then just bring it down slowly down by your side. Let that arm relax for a second, and then we'll unwind, catch the shins in your hands, hug the knees in gently, more movement if that feels good, and then just start to decide what else you would like to add here. We're moving towards Shavasana, but if there's something else you'd like to do before Shavasana, please add it here. You might even add Happy Baby Pose, for example. Okay, just options today. If you feel like you're complete and you're ready to rest, go ahead and come into Shavasana. If you want to add that little hip opener here of Happy Baby Pose or some variation, please feel free. Reclining cobbler's pose is nice because it's quite relaxing, getting us well prepared for Shavasana, where we'll be in complete relaxation. And again, whenever you feel complete, just want to have your legs extended out in front of you. You let them relax, arms resting down by your side. You might even turn your palms up. That just gives it what creates an outer rotation or an outer spiral of the arms, which kind of emphasizes good posture. So imagine yourself for a moment standing in mountain pose with your palms opened, facing forward. It naturally rolls the shoulders back, and it presents yourself in a very proud manner. So you can do the same thing here in Shavasana. Palms open outer spiral of the arms opening through the shoulders. Feel free to keep your eyes open, gazing upward, or close your eyes, moving inward. Pay attention to the slow steadiness of the breath. Continue to be aware of your breathing. Sometimes when we come to complete stillness, our minds like to wander. We start thinking about other things. So if that's the case, no worries. Just take a breath. And that attention to that deep breath brings you back to the present moment. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. It's a very relaxing position. Even as I end the practice, you're welcome to stay just like this. Hold here as long as you'd like. When you are ready to move, rather than moving the body right away, start with some deep breathing. Maybe 5 slow breaths. As you're breathing, feeling movement gently return to your body. It'll be subtle movements. Maybe start wiggling your toes and your fingers, moving your feet and your hands. And just feel that sensation just rise up through the entire body until you're full of new life. Not moving too quickly. You might bend your knees, feet on the ground, slowly rolling to one side of your body into a nurturing pose. Still moving as slowly as you can. Press and lift yourself up. Bring in a pillow or blanket to sit on. Feel the re-extension of your spine as you sit up nice and tall. Let your arms and hands just relax down by your side. Once again, just lift the shoulders a bit towards earlobes and just press down as you exhale and feel that complete release and relaxation. And then one more movement together. Let's inhale and take the arms all the way up into the air. Nice stretch. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Go ahead and take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.